Yeah. Yeah, this cat, I think this is the relic cat from Legion, if I remember correctly. So I don't believe that you can get. I don't think this cat is acquirable anymore. I think that you had to do the Mage Tower, which the Mage Tower, to put that in 14 terms, since that's the stream translating back and forth. The Mage Tower was basically like if you did like the final single player uh, role quest or class quest more specifically. But when you were leveling through all your class quests, except doing that is like an ultimate. Um, so it was way harder there, than like a normal version. Doing it on ultimate, where like it really wasn't meant to be cleared, and when it was tuned so that to clear it, you had to be perfect about executing all the abilities on your class. It was tuned for your class. It was meant for your exact toolkit to be able to solve the problem. So think of the duels that are in Boja, but like tuned for your class specifically. So you had to be able to play your class and your spec. And so there was a different one. Druids have 4 specs. I got 3 of my mage towers completed before they removed them from the game. I never got the 4th one. Um, but yeah, is controller support in the game? Yes, but I will say that like to activate it, he had to use some console commands. So I assume that's their way of like, if you know it's there, you can test it and all that. So he said he's going to put a video out on it in case people want to do it. But I will say like it's still not perfect, and the fact that it's hidden behind console commands tells me either they're not going to take it all the way to completion, or this is not the final iteration, and they're going to make it more polished. If they're not going to take it to completion, I will say that's not bad news. Right now, the way you do it is you download an add-on and then you download a piece of software that'll map your controller to keys, and then you have the add-on map the keys to the mapping. And so it's a big convoluted mess as a workaround. By them supporting this at a console level, even if it's not perfect, hopefully some add-on developer can go piggyback off that, and we can cut that extra piece of software out where it just functions as an add-on, just like a DPS meter, just like the fact that my map looks different than his, just like the fact that my bars are in different positions than his. Those are all add-ons. I use add-ons to help me optimize my crafting and gathering. I have add-ons that help me track current auction house prices, and there's no reason that controller couldn't be in with that group. To be fair, though, with the Feral Druid one, you could cheese it with Broken Isles world buffs. I didn't know that, so it's substantially easier. Um, I didn't have those. I just did them, and the healer one, I just remember dying a lot. So I got. I think I don't. I think the healer one might be the one I didn't get. So I think I got the Moonkin one and the Feral and the Bear. I think. How do I check that? Is that in my collections tab? Under appearances, maybe? Main hand. It might be under feats of strength. Well, it wouldn't be on this character. Yeah, it wouldn't be on this character. Um, I don't remember what those would be. Legion artifacts, maybe? I don't know. But yes, I got 3 of them. And I'm missing one. I don't remember which one. I got my Yeti bear. I figured so Feral and Bear were the 2 I worked on first, not because those are my favorite specs, because in my opinion those made the largest difference in the appearance. Because the Moonkin one, I think it's just a change in the staff. Like I don't think it drastically changes your Moonkin. I don't know. This was all a long time ago. But yeah, if I have the mount with Transmog, I do not. I do not have that mount. I have my Tundra Mammoth. I don't have that one. I'd have to go to a barber. And I only did it on Druid. I didn't try it on any other ones. Skyrim doesn't have controller support on PC. That seems odd. Skyrim's been ported to so many things. You'd think they'd have that kind of down. Like I'm pretty sure with a controller you could probably play it on a Samsung fridge. WoW nostalgia is hitting you hard seeing a Tauren druid. I mean that is the druid of druids. My main is a male Tauren. Um, I created so I have 3 druids. So I'll have my main, and then I'll have a minor herbalist, and then I'll have which is what this one's going to be, and then I'll have a tailor / engineer for the purpose of speed druid for speed runs. And then I may end up creating a fourth for skinning / engineering. It used to be that the Looterang, you would just switch to it when you needed it, and you'd be like tailoring skinning. But now the Looterang, you need bigger. So if you're going to do standstill farms, you need a Looterang, and if you're going to do speed runs, you need a Looterang. So I'll need engineering on both those. So I'll probably have 4 druids. The nice thing about 4 druids is when something like the Halloween event goes on, which is going on right now, if you're missing something, like I'm missing the Headless Horseman mount, you can literally just queue for that, and you can get, I mean, the mount I could get on any class, so like that's not a perfect example, but say it dropped something that was like a druid's unique headpiece or whatever, and I really wanted it, I'd be able to have 4 attempts at it, because once you unlock a transmog, which is their glamour system, you unlock it for all of your characters. So that's pretty neat. You wish WoW had one character with all jobs. There's a lot of advantages to having multiple characters, so like it's definitely a trade. The Tauren Heritage Armor, I don't know if I have it. I guess I do, because I mean, so I assume they just gave it to you if you have an original druid. So my druid was from 2004, so like you want to talk about an original druid, I have an original vanilla druid. Is it under sets? I don't know where it is. Heirloom, heirloom, heirloom. No, it wouldn't be heirloom. Appearances, items, search, heritage maybe? Heritage? Nope, nope. Not weapons. I would like to be... I don't know. I need to unlock my high mountain, so I think if I make another one, I'll make a high mountain Tauren. Get a moose cow. Oh, it's a quest that I need to go to do. Oh, that's the quest I have. My druid only has one quest. Go to Thunder Bluff. Does WoW and 14 play similar story-wise? So, kind of. So Final Fantasy is a story-based franchise that created a multiplayer online experience. It's not the first one, but you know, they had 11 and then they had 14, which has had a 1.0 and so on. And so it's a single player game first, and then the multiplayer was layered on top. And it often feels like that. You go through patch content and you've got 2 hours of MSQ before you get to the group content or something like that. And when a new player joins the game, basically, what do we tell them? Go do your MSQ by yourself. We'll see you on the other end. And so it's very, very story centric. World of Warcraft came out of an RTS that said, hey, we like the gameplay in games like EverQuest. What if we just made an RTS, but you were one character out in this world? And so it was gameplay first. And then they based the lore off the lore of this RTS, this real-time strategy game. And so it took them a couple expansions of pretty much just gameplay elements to really start ironing out how a story should be told and all of that. So Wrath of the Lich King was the first time, in my opinion, that we had a cohesive story where like you'd be out in the world questing, or you'd be in a dungeon and the Lich King himself would be there and he would interact with you in some way and talk in some way. And he's present in dungeons, even though you don't get to kill him until the raid. So that was the first time that we had that really immersive experience. And it's gotten more immersive since then. Actually, in the current expansion, you even have like MSQ straight up, like pops up with a little emblem. You got to go do this. Content's kind of locked behind it. There's going to be a big story, lots of cutscenes. The game is very heavily voice acted. So like where we're at now is huge amounts of lore to where we were. And where 14 is now is huge amounts of gameplay systems. Boja is immense. We've had deep dungeons added to the game. We've got limited jobs that literally break the battle class system. We've got open world fates. We've got hunts. We've got all these things that have turned into full-fledged systems. The fates got bicolored gemstones this time. So we've gamified everything. Boja is just games on games on games. That's a huge leap from ARR, where it was relatively straightforward, expected game systems over a really immense story. And the gameplay systems felt good because we were in this world that we were a part of. And so, like, we got to the same point, but that's why. Are allied races purely cosmetic? Yes. Well, Yes. I don't think they have any special... I don't think they... Do they have racials that are broken? I think they're just cosmetic. I think I just get my troll one, right? If I'm the Zandalari troll. They might have racials. So the way that you unlock them is they're meant for end game. So it would be like having if Rogaden had been like, you can play Makote if you want to be a cat person, but then you can go on a quest as a cat person and learn about what the real cat people are, and then you can play as it later. That sort of system doesn't work in 14 because then you would have to do a race change potion. In WoW, it works because you have the ability to go create it. The big draw of an heirloom of them is that they look different. So we went off into Legion and we came across the High Mountain Tauren because we couldn't come across Standard Tauren because then we would be like, how come we didn't know about you guys before? And they're like, oh, because we're mooses. So we're talking to the mooses and it's like, but I want to play as a moose. And they're like, okay, cool. You can totally play as cousin distant Tauren. But you have to go on this quest line for them. Now you can race change to it if you want, and you can pay for it with gold. I think it costs, I think it's about a WoW token, so that's like 150,000 gold, which is probably roughly equivalent of like 1.5 million gil, give or take. And then from there, if you go create a brand new character that's the heritage and you level that's the new race and you level it all the way to max, you get what's called a heritage set, and it's like a glamour specific that's account wide, at least across that race. I don't know if you can equip heritage sets on not that race, and it's unique to that. It's purely cosmetic.
Okay, I'm back.